All right, class, and welcome to lesson 3-12. We're going to be using a very similar strategy to yesterday. The I can statement and their learning target is very similar, so let's look at it. I can use helper facts to solve multiplication facts I do not have memorized by subtracting a group. Yesterday we added a group. Today we're going to use the same strategy in a different way. We're just going to subtract a group to find out. So let's get started. I'm going to start putting this little helpful piece in here. This is an I do part. An I do means the teacher's going to do it, and your responsibility is to follow along and make sure your notebook looks like mine. So this is page 93 for your reference. So I'm going to solve this. You're going to do it along with me, but this is the I do where your teacher's going to do it. So let's get started. It says to sketch a picture to show 10 toy cars with 4 wheels on each car. How many wheels are there in all? So I'm going to let my picture look a little bit like this. So I'm going to draw 10 toy cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it says there's 4 wheels on each car. I'm going to let each wheel be a little X. 4 wheels. Remember to be doing this along with me. If you need to pause the video to stay on pace, pause it, get caught up. So I'm putting my 4 wheels in each car. And I'm almost finished. So I've got my 4 wheels in each car. This multiplication number model would be 10 cars times 4 wheels per each car. I can count by tens, and I could do 10, 20, 30, 40, just kind of showing how I'm going to count by 10. So 10 times 4 is 40. Now when we move on to the next step, it says use another color to change your picture to show the number of wheels on 9 toy cars with 4 wheels on each car. So the number of wheels on each car haven't changed, but what has changed is we no longer have 10, we have 9. So I crossed one of those out. And just by doing that, I now know I have, if I number them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I subtracted one group. So if we look at this next step, though, now it says to explain what number model. It says to write a number model to describe your new picture. So this is our new picture. If we look at it, I'm just going to move this up a little bit more. And it says, describe a number model, write your new picture. So I look at my new picture, and my new picture shows 10 groups of 4 that equals 40. And then because I subtracted here, I crossed out this one group. I'm going to show that as there's 4 in that group. So I subtracted 4, and that equals 36. And then I'm going to write here, this is really key. So 9 times 4 equals 36. What I just did there also gets into this last part here of how did knowing 10 times 4 help you figure out 9 times 4. And what I'm thinking as I'm solving this problem is that I know 10 groups of 4, or 10 times 4. It's going to look very similar. It might even be exactly the same. 10 times 4 equals 40. So subtracting one group of 4 would be different color, 40 minus 4, which equals 36, or 9 times 4. So this strategy is very similar to the one we did yesterday. The only thing's different is we're going one factor above. We used 10 times 4 to help us do 9 times 4. because we can count by our tenths easily. Again, when we're subtracting a group, we add on, and we only use numbers that we know we can do quickly, and that's the purpose of using a helper fact. So let's continue on taking a look at some more examples. Right now, this is a part of the lesson where I want you to do it. So this is a you do part of the lesson. And so stop, you're going to try solving number 2 on your own. If you get stuck, press play and think failure leads to success. So this is a part where I want you to try what we just did on your own. You're probably going to run into problems. And when you do, then you'll press play. And when you press play, you'll be looking at how did I solve the problem? Mr. Campbell, how did I solve it? And where you went wrong and thinking what can you learn from it. So be thinking of that key of excellence, failure leads to success. So go ahead now and pause the video and solve. So now as we're solving this, I'm using the helper fact of 5 times 7. It gave you the helper fact. I know that 5 times 7 is 35. I counted by my 5s to solve that. So it says use pictures, numbers, or words to show how. I'm going to draw and split a line here. I'm going to show you 2 different ways. So this is way 1, this will be way 2. So I'm going to use a picture to show first. So I'm looking at helper fact of 5 times 7. I'm going to do that as 5 groups of 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know that I can be finished because I have group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, and group 5. And to use this picture, I'm thinking I know that I'm supposed to find 4 groups of 7. So I'm just going to circle 4 groups of 7. And I'm going to cross out this last group of 7. I subtracted, and I know I subtracted 7 because I put a line through it here. So I took away 7. So I'm going to use what I know about this problem, and I know that all of this image is 35 because 5 times 7 is 35. So I'm going to do 35 minus this 7 here that I took away. I know that I can do that because that leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 7 left, which is what I'm trying to solve. And 35 minus 7, as I begin solving that, 35 minus 7 equals 28. So 4 times 7 equals 28. That's one way to solve this problem by using a picture. Another way we can solve it is simply with our number models and a little bit of words. So we're going to use numbers and words mainly for this one. So as I start, my number model is 5 times 7 equals 35. This is where we use a little bit of words. I know, or I need 4 groups of 7, not 5 groups. 7. So I am going to subtract 1 group of 7 from 35. My new number model will be I'm going to write this in a new color so it stands out. 35 minus 7 equals 28. This is the key part. So, getting back to our original fact, 4 times 7 equals 28. The big important part here is that when you're solving it using words and when you're solving it using pictures, you need to think about it as 5 groups of 7. Once you think of it as 5 groups of 7, it'll help you understand that if you need 4 groups of 7, that we're subtracting 7 and not 5, because 5 doesn't make sense with that. So it's really important to write it out and think of this always as 5 groups of 7, 4 groups of 7 when solving these types of problems. So now at this point that you have solved these problems with me, let's take a look at our next work. So right here, you're going to stop. You're going to solve and try this problem with the assigned fact. The assigned fact is going to be, let's do 7 times 9. And I want you to use the helper fact of 7 times 10 to help you. When you're finished, submit this in Seesaw. And then just like yesterday, for those of you that listened really well, you're going to come see me for your oral quiz. Hope to see you soon. Think failure leads to success. And as always, if you need help or support, please come find me. Signing out from the loft.